Gilberto Silva, the Invisible Wall podcast. Now, I want to show a different side of the podcast. I'm gonna make an interview with a friend of mine, has become familiar to you all, Tim Chase, but not exactly about him properly. Of course, it's connected to him, but it's about the business he runs. Because after this business he ran, we met a couple of years ago, and he's the one who motivated me to start a podcast. Now I want to talk to you, Tim, about TruChallenge.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Welcome again.
Yeah. Good to see you as always.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I haven't left yet.
Are you okay?
Good, mate. Yeah, nervous because it's flipped. Normally it's me asking you questions,
Yes.
and I can see you've got a load of questions to ask me
I
there.
have a few questions here, just for the people get to know exactly what your business, what exactly does it work, and better you explain than me.
Exactly.
Let's see. I hope I can do.
We've got high standards to live up to.
You, because you have done things great. High standard. I hope I can deliver.
You'll be fine.
You'll do that.
That'll make you look good. Don't worry about that.
So, Tim, tell us about TruChallenge. How did you start it, and how does it work? For the people, the audience, get to know what TruChallenge is all about.
Yeah, good question. Good starting point. Well done. So TruChallenge started. I had the idea for it probably 3 years ago now. Nearly 4 years ago now. And basically, I'd become a single dad to a 3-year-old boy, and all he wanted to do was spend his time on his iPad, just watching kids unwrapping presents. And it was kind of getting frustrating because my childhood, all I could remember was playing football until I was bored, and then when I was bored playing football, I'd ride my bike. And then when I finished riding my bike, I played football again. So I was kind of getting a little bit saddened, but I guess, by he was just literally all his time was spent watching kids unwrapping presents on YouTube. I'm like, do you know how many toys you have in your bedroom? This is much more fun to play with than watch them. So, and I thought rather than sort of say technology is bad, because iPads are cool, YouTube is cool. Do you know what I mean? It's a cool thing. So there's no point in fighting this technology, right?
It's very hard nowadays to fight against.
Yeah, I mean, we're using. You've got in front of you. We're streaming on. We're the only people we're talking to people now is because of podcasts, school, his friends, everything. So I thought rather than fight technology and say iPads are bad, because then he'll, like a typical little boy, he'll want to use it even more. So I kind of thought, well, there must be a platform where the influencers, if you like, on YouTube. So these influencers and YouTubers, instead of just going, here's a video, watch me, there must be a bit where these influencers can go, right, well, here's my challenge that I did on that he's just watched. Here's how you can take part in it. So upload a video of yourself doing my challenge, if you like. And the first idea I kind of had was, so the kid he watches, he sees a video and goes, right, and the influencer goes, here's how you build the best fort. Go and grab your mum and dad's pillows and duvets, and this is how you make the best fort. Show me what you can do. Okay. And at the time, I was a headhunter in tech in London, and I had a really good client of mine by the name of Darren Goldsby, who worked for Hearst magazine, and he was really into the world because I wasn't working in a technical world at the time. So I thought maybe it's a good idea. The idea of this taking part on Challenges platform is a good idea. But I didn't know if it had any commercial value, because obviously if it didn't have any commercial value, then it's not going to happen. So I went to Darren and said, look, I've got a bit of an idea. Can I run it past you? And I'd known Darren for about 15 years at the time. I've been working together for about 15 years. And he went, yeah, it definitely has, with various different things we can do. And then we kind of really drilled down into what sort of demographic would be interested in using this platform. Kids are probably not quite right because they're not social media savvy, and are they putting themselves into harm's way and things like this. So we decided that sports is probably the best place to do it, because the people are active and
the teams they can play with.
Yeah, exactly. So it was originally going to be, so my local team where I live is called Steyning Town Football Club. So Steyning Town can use their first team to set like a crossbar challenge, and they go, every first team has a go, and how many crossbars can they hit? And then the next challenge they put out is the local team is Upper Beeding. Mm-hmm. So Upper Beeding then go, I want to have a go at that. So Steyning challenge Upper Beeding, and they take part in a challenge. And then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And that's kind of how we started. But Football, great. It's a great opportunity. But when we launched the first challenge was with a young YouTuber who was 9 years old at the time called Keel Skills, and he had an audience on Instagram. He had 45,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he heard about us. We got introduced. It's actually the same event that you and I met, SoccerX, and they said. We sort of kind of started talking. So look, you've got a young audience. Do you want to try this new platform out? And we were still at the kind of demo stage. We're still sort of putting different things out, understanding what the technology was doing. And we said, do you want to do a challenge? So we came up with a 3-stage challenge. The first one was doing 15 keep-ups because we had to be mindful that this audience is going to be very young, so we can't do ridiculously tricky challenges. So because they won't be able to take part in them. So we did a 15. Can you do 15 keep-ups? Once you've done that, you can get through to the next round. And the next round was a household trick shot. So you had to do a trick shot in your house, and like kicking a rolled up bunch of football socks into a washing machine or whatever you like. And then the third one was show us why you should win. So it gives the kids a chance to show off. We had hundreds of people kids from all around the world taking part, which is fantastic. And then we had to get to the decision to find out who the winner was. And we narrowed it down to two kids who were genuinely amazing, not because of their age, but genuinely amazing footballers as a standalone kind of things. So I said, look, I'm not going to choose a winner out of these. They're just two fantastic kids. Let's double the prize. What we'll do on social media, I'll contact the parents and say, look, your kids have won. But I'm going to put a vote out on Facebook saying, look, like it thumbs up if you want the little girl to win, Becca, and thumbs up, the heart if you want the little boy, Jackson, to win. And I think we had something like 380,000 views on these two kids that no one had ever heard of before. So we were blown away by that response. But when I told the two parents, I told the little boy, the boy's dad had a chat with him, Jackson's was his name, and after that, and he was well happy, as you can imagine. And his son, Jackson, was then featured on ITV News, so he was on the main show for ITV, and they came out, they interviewed him. All the main national newspapers did an article about winning the TruChallenge channel, or getting through to being the decision. And then I spoke to the little girl called Becca Teckers. And as I say, at this time I knew you'd become a single dad, so I was quite emotional myself. And I called Becca's mum and said, look, just to let you know that Becca's done amazingly well and we're going to put her through to a vote, but she's essentially going to win. And the prize was £100 to spend on a pair of football boots, a signed Champions League football and a shirt of their choice. So we just double it. So it's nice prizes. And I called her mum and she immediately kind of got quite upset. And I said, look, here's my situation. So I'm kind of very sympathetic to the stuff, and I'm probably going to cry as well. Yeah. So I called her and emotional, so just really emotional. So I kind of asked her why, and she said, you won't really understand what this means to me and my family, because my daughter's autistic. And the way she communicates with the outside world is with football. So wherever she goes, she has to have a football with. It's like a security kind of thing to help cope with her autism. And you've validated this relationship with the football for her, and she's now so she was very emotional, very upset, happy tears though. All right. And then so I was blown away by that we can touch a child, make a child that happy with very little effort. All it took was a 2-minute video and a couple of social posts. So really, it didn't change her life, but it was a really positive experience for her, which was really important for me. As I say, at the time I was quite emotional with family stuff at the time myself. And you fast forward that, so that was in kind of the April part of the year, I think, and maybe May time. In November, she was then invited to a black tie event for a national award of overcoming adversity through sports. She ended up winning that event for overcoming adversity with using sports. And then she got selected to play for England and scored something like 26 goals in her first 5 games or something crazy. So that kind of really validated the reason for doing it. There was a commercial aspect to it, but the real part of TruChallenge is the fan engagement part of it. And to have a story like that on our first ever challenge was just incredible from that.
Because you use your idea, to engage with your son somehow, and gave some other kids the opportunity to express themselves. But I don't think at the beginning you would expect to touch on a different level.
No, absolutely not.
In this example.
Yeah, absolutely not. And it kind of show the power of not just because social media can be quite a toxic place. Like we did an Instagram story today, and there was a argument within the comments, and we're like, you and me were messing around, and it's not until we went back and did some research and kind of checked into the comments and things to make sure we didn't miss anything, you picked up on, and they were talking in Portuguese, that they're having a row, and these people don't know each other, and it's
all over the world. And do you think start with like football was like a great artistically of football, using football platform to create TruChallenge and to engage with the not only kids but people from all over the world. Yeah,
so we had people from Brazil taking part in it. We had people from Australia taking part in it, France, Italy, generally around the world. So we were kind of thinking it's going to be a really small case. And now you make that Kill Skills now I think is 11 years old, and he's got 150 odd thousand followers. So big shout out to Kill for being our first pioneer for having a go at the challenge. And he's a great little kid as well. So I think he used to play for Aston Villa, and he's been signed by a new contract with somebody else. But yeah, he's a great little kid, and his dad is a pleasure to work with as well. So yeah, so he really helped us get to the kind of next stages. And then from there, they went back to the drawing board and kind of went, right, what was good, because that was just the test platform. And it just kind of was massively overachieved in terms of what we thought would happen. One, this amazing story of this little girl and this little boy who no one had ever heard of before, and now I think the little boy now plays for Swansea, and Becca's playing for England and is doing incredibly well. It's just these little things you don't think would happen, which kind of really makes. So it's, as I was saying, it's the positive side that social media can have.
Yeah. You can touch a lot of people using a positive message.
Exactly that. And we were a bit, to be fair to us, we were a little bit naive. We should have kind of used that as a marketing tool, but we kind of didn't feel right about using Becca as a marketing tool, so we left it well alone. Anyway, then we went back to the drawing board and spoke to the users and said, look, what changes would you like to make with the platform? Made those changes, then released it again, made some more changes, and then released it. So last November we released with AS Roma, the football club.
That's good. I was going to ask you about the clients.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good because how does that work? With Rome. Did they send you some idea of what they want to do, how they want to engage with the funds, or you create something?
Each client we have is a little bit different. So we have some clients that go, this is right, you tell us what you want us to do, come up with a creative plan, and then we kind of come back and then go with a few questions like, what demographic do you want to engage with? Because it's very different. So our platform, just quickly, so if you imagine YouTube where you can watch a video of someone doing a challenge or something, but with our platform you can actually take part in that challenge, so you can upload a video for yourself. So firstly, the most important thing was it was being a single dad, had to be a safe environment. So it's a much safer environment for social media. So anyone can challenge anyone. You can start a challenge, I can start a challenge, and anyone can take part in it, and it's completely free to use. Yeah, it's completely easy, much safer. Yeah.
You can just get everyone has a mobile phone.
Exactly.
Internet, you can record it and upload it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can start a challenge within seconds as well. So it's so it's an important tool for the whole kind of storytelling compared to other platforms. That I think we'll come to in a bit. But yeah, how it works with the clients is, so Roma, for example, we're our first sort of major client, if you like. And they're just amazing at social media. Their digital department is phenomenal, and they're run by a guy called Paul Rogers, and they've got their team out in Boston, and they're just phenomenal with social media. I think they're renowned through pretty much the sporting world of being pioneers with social media. So we kind of went, well, actually, if there's a football club out there that's going to have a go with the new platform, it's going to be these guys. Unfortunately, one of my colleagues met up with Paul at an event at Liverpool. I think it was Fan Bites or something like that. And basically met up with Paul, and Paul said, look, we want to be the first club to use this. But they're going with the spirit of their pioneering digital movement. So they came up with their own challenge. They wanted to do a nutmeg challenge. And they quickly edited the video together, about 36 seconds long, put it out on social media, put it out on their Instagram, which did incredibly well. I think it's one of their most commented on posts they've ever had. And they wanted to engage with as many of their audience as possible. So they did a nutmeg challenge. And fans literally just basically upload a video themselves doing the nutmeg challenge, nutmegging someone. And I think we had about 30 responses, which was pretty good, but those 30 responses were responsible for 1.7 million views, which is pretty spectacular for a first go. But the great thing about it, they were the first kind of party that we had that had a significant social following and a significant amount of credibility. So what they would do is they would they put the challenge out on our platform and then tell everyone about it on social media. But then the fans that took part in it, they would share on their Instagram stories. So they would go,
more powerful.
Exactly. Well, it makes the fan feel like, wow, Rome is sharing my video. I now feel amazing because the club I love have only watched my video, but they felt important enough to share to their audience.
I think this is the most important thing for them, to feel important that the club is taking care, is watching them.
It's listening. It's listening. It feels like they're listening to you.
Yeah.
So they shared it. So there were people I think the club people from all around the world taking part in it, and it would be swipe up to see our story, and then it would send you through to their video on TruChallenge. So these kids were absolutely blown away. They're sending us messages saying thank you so much, and this is just for them sharing. All they've had done is share a video. I mean, it's incredible that Rome have done it. But when you think about it, like when we spoke on the other podcast, all you did was like someone's comment, and you said you made his Christmas.
Of course.
With no disrespect to you, it didn't take much effort to like a video, but it's massively important to the fans.
For them, to speak about have my team show my video.
Yep.
To speak to their friends and the family and so on.
Yeah.
It's amazing for them.
Yeah, exactly. And then that creates is the whole kind of viral element. As kids see it, other people see that video and go, that's amazing, I want a part of that, so I'll have a go at the challenge. Or they're a bit more competitive. They go, well, I'm better than him, I'm going to have a go at it as well. And actually, that's probably one thing I want to say is that there's always concern on social media, there's the negative things we've spoken about. From all of our users, there's been nothing but a positive, almost community spirit. Even when the young kids haven't won the prize or won the challenge, the comments that they have is like, oh, I'm devastated I didn't win. Sorry, not devastated, I'm gutted I didn't win.
Yeah. But
congratulations to Becca and Jackson for winning, and I look forward to the next one. So you're actually going, okay, these kids are understanding these things, it's this mental well-being and mental kind of toughness and being able to cope with.
Not get frustrated on social media because they didn't get the prize or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a safe environment, as you said. Because when you said about safe environment, because this is good for people to pay attention. It is exactly what I said, safe environment, because we have seen a lot of kids with problems in social media. If they know how to use it, sometimes it's hard for the parents to, let's say, to have a look at everything and pay attention it. But this, for sure was a great idea behind, the platform for the kids to be safe. And, being before TruChallenge as a headhunter, would you think when you have this idea of creating TruChallenge would become like, let's say, your main job, part of your, let's say, the new model of business? And because you have to make a choice, right? Yeah.
So it got to the point, fortunately, we managed to, with the success of the first challenge, and then with sort of a client list of people coming through, we managed to raise a lot of investment. So we've got some really credible investors that have come on board and really get behind the project and are doing incredibly well and really supportive of me and the team we have behind us. So without those guys, we wouldn't even be sitting here. I won't mention them all because they might not want to be mentioned, but they are a great bunch of investors and a great board. No, I wouldn't have thought it'd be my main job because before this, I was talking and headhunting people from investment banks and technology and stuff, and it's got to the point of my life when I I was separated from my wife and marriage. I had my son, and I was like, I'm just miserable at everything. I just want to miss why do I enjoy life? What makes life fun? And more importantly, what example do I want to set my son? So I was kind of actively looking for something to do, but I had no idea what it would be. And then TruChallenge just kind of came about by literally, watching my son and what necessity is the mother of all invention.
It's like a new kid born.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
To assess your son.
Yeah.
And have space for him on a safe environment.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you've met him. He's a pain in the arse now. You've met him. He's a pain in the arse now.
Because when we speak about his son, he put him to work a lot. Football and many kind of games. It's very challenging now.
Man, this kid, my son, I love football, and my son loves football so much, it's making me hate football.
It's this for good reason.
Yeah.
Were you inspired, create this platform TruChallenge by the other platforms, how they were created somehow, as an example, Facebook, Twitter, and so on?
Yeah, so That's a really good question. So I started TruChallenge and I knew nothing about anything, and I've learned everything on the way. And the clients that we've been working with and the people that I've been working with have helped me get here. So they've been really supportive and kind of, it's quite an inclusive kind of community, sports in general, but then technology within sports is a very, very inclusive kind of environment. Everyone wants everyone to be helpful. So coming from where I was as a headhunter, where everyone is like a big shark tank, everyone's trying to get everyone, no helping anyone, and you're in it for yourself kind of thing. So that's kind of one thing that I've learned from this. But then getting inspiration from other bits of social media is we feel we work within a niche part of that social media. So social media is great for dealing with reach, as we've discussed. You can touch people from around the world. But our storytelling is kind of quite niche in the content we look for. So, for example, YouTube, we've done some work with the guys at the F2 guys, and they have 11 million subscribers on YouTube, and they are always doing different challenges with, like last week, I can't remember whether it was last week, but they filmed with Neymar and Ronaldo and everything, and they do crossbar challenges and top bins challenges and all this sort of stuff. And that was the first time we looked at YouTube and went, well, actually, they can be doing kind of a lot more about engaging with their fans. So they did a top bins challenge, and their fans is still the most popular video that we have. So fans can take part in that. But where this answers your question is they have YouTube, which is their main story. So it's a 8 to 12 minute video on YouTube where it's their whole content about the day's filming with them. But then they can go, and actually, if you head to our TruChallenge channel, you can now see, you can take part in the challenge that I did with Gilberto Silva or Neymar or Messi. So then fans go, I want to have a go at that. So they can watch it, but then take part in it. So that's what I'm saying, the influencer is really important to us. And then they can then send them back. Then they can, again, like Roman did, go, right, swipe up to watch my story. So it really brings into that whole understanding the fans, listening to the fans and giving them something back. And you're not really giving them anything back by just sharing their video. And it means so much to them. It's incredible.
For sure.
So we fit in, so you've got each kind of social platform does something different. So Instagram is different to Twitter, which is different to YouTube, which is different to Facebook. And we basically are a conversation point for all of those, because the content you get from us, you can share across your social channels. So actually doing a short 1 to 2 minute video, engage with your fans, creates content for you, and there's a revenue stream behind it. So yeah, we're very different to the other social platforms. And the other social platforms are much bigger than us, but we're very kind of niche in the content that we want to have, which is just purely fan engagement.
That's good.
And a positive environment, because as we said, you can be kind of quite negative on the other platforms.
Yeah, especially because when you mentioned that, you go to the basic points. How did you create TruChallenge? What is it's 4 years now, right?
It'll be 4 years in April, I think, or May.
4 years in April of TruChallenge. It's 4 year baby now. The baby's growing.
The baby's growing. It's getting fatter.
The baby's growing up, and this is it's amazing. But what is your goal for TruChallenge in maybe medium, long term? What is your idea behind it?
Yeah, so I think we started off with sports. And we've started off with football, and now we're talking to some NFL teams and some other things and some golfing projects as well. So we're kind of always moving into other sports. But I think what I would like to have the platform for is just generally making a difference. And it sounds really corny, but it is really the engagement from the story from this girl, Becca Teckers. It showed you how simply we can engage with these kids and make a difference in their lives. So we've just started a project with the National Literacy Trust, because the stats so these are kids, the project we're doing is a pilot scheme. I think it's funded by Comic Relief and BT Sport. And it's about engaging kids with reading and writing problems that are in pupil referral units, so PRUs they call them, PRUs. And these kids are kind of probably from a bad background, don't have the best message at home, kind of broken marriages and all this type of sort of stuff. And it's through no fault of their own necessarily. They're just underachieving and potentially on the verge of being expelled from school. So we've spoken with the National Literacy Trust, and it was actually launched last Thursday, about doing what we come up with was a Game Changers campaign. So actually making these kids feel included in it. So you've been invited to this club. I'm a game changer. I believe you're a game changer. Join this group and show us why that is the case. And we've set them challenges to help them learn to read and write, so to read and write better. So, for example, the first one is actually getting alongside them. So we send them an email saying, you've been invited, you've been selected by TruChallenge as a game changer. We're now inviting you to join another group of game changers to show the world what you can do. So immediately they've got you. We're not a negative message. We're not bad. We don't say that you're doing this because you've been a naughty student or you're underachieving. It's actually you are something important, you are something special. So that was really important with the first thing we did. The next thing is we needed to understand and kind of get on a level with these kids. So the first challenge is you get a massive piece of paper and we get the kids to be honest and write down, why don't you read? It's boring. I'd rather play FIFA. Instagram is much better. I want to spend time with my girlfriend. I want to be seeing my friends. So we then stick that onto a goal and then we ask the kids to then kick a football through that piece of paper. So we call it the Breaking Down Barriers Challenge. So it's actually metaphorically and physically breaking down barriers. And then it's other things, giving them other responsibilities. But because of our content's kind of quite funny and engaging, we've kind of put that element into engaging with these kids.
When you did this challenge, how does the kids feel, like breaking down this barrier?
Well, it was only launched on Thursday, so we don't know yet.
Right.
But
it'll be amazing to see.
Yes, I think it's for 800 students. So it's 300 kids initially, and then there's another 800, I believe, from April. So it's a 3-month program. So if you listen to it and you want your school to be involved, I think go to nationalliteracytrust.org.uk and you can find sort of how to sign up for the pilot there. But it's incredible, and that's kind of what makes me proud is doing things like, obviously it'd be lovely, amazing to work with the LA Lakers and Real Madrid and Arsenal. Amazing to work with those guys, which is where our bread and butter will be, and we're slowly moving into these type of fields and things. But actually using the platform to make a difference it would be great. And then we're also talking to a musician, I can't mention who it is at the moment, but he's releasing a new album soon. And what he's going to do is he's going to release just the beat of his song, so people can download the beat, and he wants people to sing or freestyle over it. And if that's the best one out of that is actually going to be on his album. So as a bonus song, he's going to be on the album. I was going to say CD, but you don't have CDs anymore. He's going to be on exactly. He's going to be on a bonus track at the end of the album. So again, how amazing is that as a piece of project? If you're a fan of this artist and you're on his album with you singing or freestyle rapping or whatever you want to do, so it really is quite. Every time we go to a meeting, the client says, "Could we do this?" We're like, "Shit, yeah, you really could."
For sure, why not?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the fact that using this with the kids, like write down something why they don't like to do things, and also on a piece of paper and break it by read. How do you think that TruChallenge can help people in general, not only the kids but people in general? But let's go for this point with the kids, because I think we live in a society, especially nowadays, with technology where they are too much into it. Maybe they don't know how to use it on a better way. How can TruChallenge help them, somehow?
Yes.
Apart from this challenge you make, let's say challenge, I don't know.
It's fine. So I think what we're trying to do is we've got very different demographics. So as we've learnt throughout doing these different challenges with these different clients, we found out that the age of the person who starts the challenge is really important. So this little 9-year-old kid who did the first challenge is Kill Skills. Even if the prize was to win 4 tickets to the World Cup, you wouldn't get an 18-year-old taking part in the challenge, because how cool is it going to be for an 18-year-old, even if he wins even the draw of winning 4 World Cup tickets isn't big enough for him to look stupid, right? Well, not to look stupid, sorry, but to take on, well, how did you win these tickets? I beat a 9-year-old at a challenge. Well, congratulations, well done. So what we are doing is we try to build positive experiences for these children, and show how a little bit of hard work is really important. So we kind of, so that's what I was talking about, the young kids. So these young kids can take part in the challenge, maybe not win, but they can then practice so they can win the next time, because there'll be more than one crossbar challenge on it. So it's teaching them about hard work, it's teaching them about mental toughness, and it's teaching them that actually there is positive experiences out there in the world. You can put a picture out of yourself on Instagram and get a load of crap comments back on it, but actually when you get off your ass and do something, people kind of respect that a little bit. Yeah, being more proactive and getting people more healthy. That's for anybody. If you can find someone to spark, if you could find that one thing to spark yours, if you were a little bit haven't trained for a while, and your favourite music artist or your favourite soap star or your favourite actor suddenly started releasing a challenge on how to get fit and lose weight, or the 50 press-up challenge or something.
Would you can like a challenge? If let's say a charity call you, listen, team, I would like to set up a challenge to help my kids in this program.
Yeah.
How could you help them?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good example. So I had in the starting point of TruChallenge, one of my old school friends committed suicide with depression. So we used the platform and we decided that we were going to raise some money for the charities for men's mental health. I think it was Calm and the YMCA. I think they were those ones. And so we were going to do what's called a warrior run, which is 14 kilometers over an obstacle course, getting muddy and stuff. So 10 of us got together, and instead of using the platform for how many press-ups can you do, how many keep-ups can you do, we used it as kind of like a library for our training. So we put out a funny video of us training, montage training with a Rocky theme tune over it. So you can kind of that. It's quite ridiculous, but quite engaging. But it also tells you why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then from there, every training session we did, we uploaded a video. So to give you an example how the charity side worked, the Warrior Run was on the Sunday, and the Wednesday before we'd raised £300 for charity. We released the TruChallenge link on our social media on the Wednesday evening, and then we were then picked up by local radio. So we had 3 radio interviews. We went crazy across social media. Then if you do that to the following Wednesday, so a week later and after the event, we'd raised nearly £7,000 for the charities, going from £300 to £7,000. And this is not just because of TruChallenge, but what kind of was, because when people see on social media that you get Just Giving links because someone's doing the marathon, or because their father was ill, or cancer charities. With us, you can actually go see the link. You can see why we've done it. You can see us actually training things. So you click on the link and go, right, these guys have been training for 10 weeks and they've been doing press-ups on the beach in the pouring down rain. The least I can do is give them £10, and the donation link is in there. So one thing, we're fundraising for charities, but the biggest charity there's ever been, the biggest challenge there has ever been, was the Ice Bucket Challenge, which raised $100 million for charity.
This was a massive one.
Which was where every challenge starts point. So everyone wanted to do that. And again, from one short video, they've engaged with millions of people 17 million people around the world. So it can be good for exposure, from donations. It can be good for telling people what the charity is all about, and we can fundraise through it as well.
Fantastic. As the baby is growing now, and how big you want to make TruChallenge?
Yeah.
You want to get, I don't know if close, but to hit where the other platform, because they start small as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone starts small, and you want to get some exposure. And do you have any strategy to make it grow, yearly, or in 5 years' time?
Yeah. So I think we've got, so the plan we have is to sort of hit football first, and football within Europe. But a lot of our growth has come kind of organically anyway. So we work with Chelsea Football Club, and then that organically goes to someone else within their club who has a tennis player who's married to a tennis player or something like this. So it's growing kind of quite well organically. Like through Chelsea, we started talking to the San Francisco 49ers, who have done incredibly well and potentially made the playoffs and won at the weekend, maybe going to make the Super Bowl. So we've gone from Chelsea to the 49ers. So there's lots of different things within that's kind of helping us grow organically, but we also have some strategy behind the business. And football's such a global sport that it's be crazy not to have that as a sport. And as to go for. But I think our plan is to kind of concentrate on the UK for them probably another 6 more months, and then more Europe, and then go to the US. And the US is obviously where it gets kind of quite big. But I think we've got so many growth areas within sports and music, as I mentioned, that we kind of got a target to kind of have targets of actually we want to get to this kind of revenue or that revenue. It's not really our plans. Our plans are right. Let's get into this market, i.e. football. And once we've done with football, we need to then go into football within Italy, and then we need to go football in Spain. Okay. And then we'll have another department that we grow, which is, say, golf, because we're starting to work with some golf companies. So we've got golf in the UK and then golf around the world, in Europe, and then golf further around the world. So the target is to kind of get all the sports based covered before we really start attacking anywhere else. So yeah, but I mean, it's how many sports there are in the world and how many people play sports. Yeah, it's quite a big market. But I don't think we'll ever be to the stage of the Twitters and the Facebooks of the world, because they're pioneers and they've taken a massive grab of the marketplace. At
some point it might happen.
You never know, they might buy us.
Happen, the bigger companies come.
Well, I think that's what probably will happen. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Are you happy with the business so far?
Yeah, really happy. It's it's a lot of fun. Well, I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't made the change to doing this, and I've met guys. It's quite fun, really. Like you and me mess around. We're supposed to be doing these podcasts, and most of the time we spend the day messing around. We spend at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours messing around before we even switch the camera on.
Yeah, we're supposed to do a challenge, and you do something for charity you haven't done yet.
It's a good opportunity. I'll tell you what. Why don't we get a charity to message us? The first, if a charity makes a comment on the platform, then we'll work with that charity to do a challenge for them.
Yeah, why not? We are open. This will.
I was just throwing you under the bus then. Didn't discuss that. We didn't discuss that.
Yeah. We talk about it. Yeah. Well, there's anything else you want to do? Emphasize anything more about?
No, I don't think so. I think we
have covered something, very simple questions, but just for you to give an idea how TruChallenge works and what's how can be work with charities, football clubs, different sports, but also engage the kids, bring them to a safe environment. I think this is what's important for me, an important message as well for the parents to understand. Okay, they can go through challenge because I'm okay what the content they are going to see or upload there is something that is relevant, and also to give them security, despite the fact they go to work, whatever.
Yeah, well, we've recently, one of the second things we did was how can we make the platform safer. So now, say my son's 7, so I'm really not happy about him putting stuff on social media just yet. Yeah. One of the stuff, because what the comments will come back, but we've actually got it now so you can have a private challenge. So he can start, or I can start a challenge for him, and then invite the guys from his football team. And unless you have you've been given access to the club, to that group, that challenge, you can't get access to it. So you can't see that content anywhere. So it's completely shut off. I manage it. His mates can take part in it, and their parents control their access to it as well. So he can log on and goes, right, who's done my trampoline challenge this week? Yeah. Who's done my top binge challenge this week? So the safety was really important. And the platform is really, it's kind of giving back to the fans for not little effort, because that sounds a bit, but very easily can engage with the fans. And then just give a whole message, because the whole cycle of the thing is just really positive. So obviously we're doing starting one today, aren't we, or tomorrow, which is the prediction challenge, because we're so awful at it. So we've decided to see if anyone else is a little bit better than us. Not better, just a little bit less shit.
Yes, true. Fantastic team. So I'm really happy,
I'm starting to sweat. It's pressure, isn't it, all these questions?
It's not pressure.
No, I'm joking.
No, that's all right. Thank you very much for for the chat about TruChallenge. I think from now on, I hope that people get aware how does TruChallenge work, And if you want to see something else more, go there, give them the address.
TruChallenge.co.uk. So TruChallenge.co.uk.
You can see them. You can see as well on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram again, TruChallenge, and Twitter. Not as much going to have a look at Instagram.
That's good.
Nice one.
Hope you enjoy, and go there and see what those guys are doing. Something fantastic.
Nice one. Thank you, mate.